Hello, I'm DerTebbers, and this is your indie game review of Nihilumbra from Beautifun Games. Born of nothing, destined for nothing, you are a product of the void. Will you submit to your fate, or fight it? Can you live with the potential collateral damage? This is Nihilumbra, a game where you are a creature of the void that has escaped to Earth and are running from those that want to take you back. Does Nihilumbra deserve life, or should it be consigned to the void? I really like the graphics. This isn't an uber-realistic game. This is a highly stylized game that reminds me of games like Bastion or the later stages of Evoland. In a game like this, the graphics just fit wonderfully. The actions of your character, the look of your character, it's just beautiful. The monsters are very interesting as well, even if the main monster looks like a dog with a scratchy butt. And the monsters are well animated. I love their little roars, the way their heads flip around. And the little animations of your character when he is idling is really neat. He even has this little cough. It's a really nice touch. As you would expect with a game that looks like this, the performance is great. It is smooth and fast. Not only is Nihilumbra on Steam, but is also on iOS and is coming soon to Android. Now, because of the limits of tablets, the game runs wonderfully on the much more powerful computer system. Now, because it is being ported to tablets, there are a few drawbacks. You can't rebind your keys, and the menus seem very simple. But it's simple and well done. You don't really feel a need to rebind your keys. There's so many times you press a button and you're like, oh, that actually did the action. In terms of audio performance, the game is also just beautiful. The music, the ambient noise, and the monsters are all superb. Perhaps my one quibble with the audio is that the thunder and that noise in the later levels does seem a bit loud compared to the others, but overall it's a minor quibble. I loved the narration and the way the narrator's voice just sort of added that extra little bit. It did feel a little bit like Bastion, that narrator there just driving you forward. Now the narrator didn't react to you like they do in Bastion, but that's okay.
I guess you are smart enough.
This is really a puzzle platformer. It isn't the manic platformer of Electronic Superjoy, but there are moments when timing and fast jump sequences are a must. The puzzle comes in how you use your colors. The color each do something special, and when used in combination you can perform actions that your character just needs to do to continue. However, it appears to be mostly free form. What you see on screen is from a second run, and many of the sequences are solved differently than my first playthrough, because I decided I'm going to try this color here, or this color here, just to see if I could get a different result, and I was able to continue. And this freedom is excellent. It allows you to solve the puzzles in a very unique and personalized way. Now, Nihilumbra is very short. I finished the story mode in a little bit less than 90 minutes, and that included a rerun of a couple levels. While this might seem too short for the $7 asking price, there is more than just the story mode in the game. There is also the very tough Void mode that can keep you entertained for longer. Or not. The Void mode, I just didn't enjoy. It felt like some of the extra hard rage games that are designed just to make you rage because you can't figure out what to do. And that wasn't enjoyable to me as nearly as much as the story mode was. Now, because the game is short, it's only about 5 levels, each level has multiple scenes within it, the game never truly gets stale. You encounter new monsters just about every level, and all the previous monsters are still in play, so you have to learn new techniques constantly. That isn't to say everything is roses. There are several areas that you will only complete through trial and error. Some puzzles require a lot of thought, which is fine, except it doesn't really fit with this platformer model. And in some cases, you just have to be lucky to hit your timing, especially during the boss chapter of the levels. And I'm going to say boss like that because the boss is unique to this game. There are some obvious compromises in the flow. There are many instances where the narrator was not done speaking when I was ready to change screens. This caused me to lose part of what was being said and create a situation where I would just stand in a screen to wait on the narrator. Now this ruined the flow to some degree, and I thought it was important enough for me to know the story to stay and listen to him. Part of this, I think, is that I don't believe the game was originally done in English. So I believe that in the original language, the flow would be better, but when moved over to English, the flow seemed to get lost. This is a relatively minor quibble in a game like this, but it is something to consider.
You want to have it.
I really like games like Nihilumbra. This is a game from a new developer that has a good story and it works very well. In fact, it works better than some established developers, EA. Everything isn't perfect, but I like the story and the music, and it really makes up for the blemishes. Now, I would recommend picking up Nihilumbra, especially if you find it at a discount, and giving it a go. I've been DerTebbers, and this was an indie game review of Nihilumbra from Beautifun Games. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to go try to feed a box to a Skeltagoth.